Shook it up.
My name is Devin, this is Go With The Flow, and today we're talking about menstrual care products. The reason we're talking about this is because, at least I know I don't like bleeding on my friend's furniture once a month. Another reason we're talking about this is because we tend to get a very limited idea of the types of products that are out there for us to use to take care of our bodies when we're on our periods. I know a lot of us are pulled aside in 5th or 6th grade, shoved in a room with all the other girls, and given the pad and tampon talk by our teachers. And while it's amusing to sit there while they put a tampon in a glass of water and we all ooh and ah about how big it gets, in reality there are other options. And because there's a wide variety of options out there, you may find something that's more comfortable or fitting to your body than pads or tampons. The other reason is they might fit better with your ideas about things like sustainability or your financial situation. So what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about how certain products work, where you can find them, how much they cost, and their basic pros and cons. So the product that most people use when first getting their period are pads. They're simple, they're easy, they're widely available, they're relatively cheap, and they come in a variety of sizes and shapes to better help fit with the amount of flow you're having that day and the size and shape of your underwear. You have pads that are good for light days, which are small and thin and relatively unnoticeable within your underwear. You have pads which are thicker and longer, which are good for medium or heavy days. And then you have pads with wings, which are also good for medium and heavy days and sit in your underwear and better protect against leakage. So, how do they work? Each pad comes with a sticky strip on the back that you simply tear off and place on the crotch of your underwear so that it stays in place. You would think with such a simple product that there wouldn't be a lot of room for variety, but in actuality, aside from the sizes and shapes, you also have pads that are made of different materials. You have pads like this one, which are kind of plasticky, and you can hear them crinkly, and then you have other pads which are organic and made more of just like paper and cotton. This is really great depending on how you feel about the environment. Pads that are made with a lot of plastic take thousands of years to break down. Pads that are made with paper and cotton take a lot less time. They're also better for your body. The vagina is one of the most absorbent places in your body, and organic pads tend to not have the chemicals like bleach that, regular pads do. Another alternative, if you're concerned about the amount of waste or the possible chemicals in conventional or, pads that you can find in the store, are cloth pads. Cloth pads are great because you can wash them and reuse them, which means you don't have to pay for them every month. You can also adjust them for the amount of flow you're having with inserts like this, which you can take out for light days or put back in for heavy days. The cooler thing about cloth pads is that they're fun to make. You can always find patterns online and use them with different types of fabric. I have some Batman ones, and make them with your friends. Have a party of it. This is also something that is fun to talk about maybe with your grandmother or your great-grandmother who may know how to make them, because conventional pads weren't made until the 1950s, which means that before that, women had to use cloth pads. They had to use rags. They had to use other means of catching their menstrual flow. Cloth pads can also be purchased online from websites like gladrags.com. They come in a variety of colors and sizes and shapes, and they work in the same exact way as pads, except that instead of using sticky stuff, they use snaps. Some also have buttons or Velcro, but they come in a variety of colors, and believe me, it's a lot more fun to bleed on Batman's face than just regular old cotton. The next most widely used product are tampons. Like pads, they come in different sizes for different flows. So, light days, you would use a small tampon like this. Heavy days, you'd use a bigger tampon. Also, like pads, they're widely available. You can get them at stores, gas stations, and possibly at home if there's somebody already in your house menstruating. Also, like pads, there are a variety of different types of tampons. You have ones with applicators, like this, and you have ones without applicators, like this. You also have different types of applicators. Some are plastic, like this one, and some are cardboard. So the way that you use a tampon with an applicator is you would grip it between your thumb and your finger, like this, and then you would place it at the entrance of the vagina, which would be over here, and then you would push on the stick at the bottom so that the cotton pushed out of the applicator and stuck inside the vagina. Once the tampon's in your vagina, it's not going anywhere. The vagina is an awesome, elastic, powerful muscle. It's made up of folds of muscle that have no problem holding that small tampon in place. There's also no risk of the tampon going up into your uterus. The os, the passageway between the uterus and the vagina, is much too small for a tampon to pass through. Around 6 hours is probably the extent of time you want to leave in a tampon, but whenever it's full is when you should remove it. To remove it, you simply grab the string hanging outside the vagina and tug. This should remove the tampon without any issue. Applicatorless tampons work the same exact way as applicator tampons. The only difference is the way you insert them. Starring in the role of applicator is your finger. So you simply take the applicatorless tampon, smush it a little at the bottom to create a broader base, put it at the entrance of the vagina, and push with your finger. This should insert the tampon into the vagina and make you good to go. Applicatorless tampons do require that you be a little more comfortable with your body because you're actually going to be inserting your finger into your vagina. However, they also have the benefit of creating less waste than an applicator tampon, which has all of this nonsense cluttering up your trash. Like pads, tampons do have an organic option, which is great because it means that you don't have cotton treated with pesticides or bleached inside the most absorbent part of your body. The bad side is that organic tampons can be more expensive and they can be harder to find, maybe not being carried at your local grocery store, but at places like health food stores or online. The best thing to do is figure out what works for your body and for your life. If you have the money to purchase products that may be more environmentally friendly or better in terms of chemicals, then do it. If you can't, then regular pads and tampons are fine. Buy what you can and use what feels comfortable. Knowing your options and being able to take care of your body in a way that's right for you is what's most important. So we've talked about pads and tampons, and hopefully you've learned something new, or you've learned how they worked, or you've answered any questions you have about them. The next Go With The Flow will still be talking about menstrual care products because there's still more out there. And they're exciting, sustainable, and really interesting if you've never heard about them. They're also less talked about in places like school or with friends or family. So if you're interested, go ahead and tune in. If you have any questions, please email me at goflow28@gmail.com, and I hope you enjoyed the video.